All right, the last question on the final from last year is this definite integral, where our integrand is x cubed root x squared plus 1. So you'll notice that's a product of two functions, and this piece right here is a function composition. So that's really strongly suggesting that I want to do a u sub, and if I did, I'd want u to be the inside part there, so x squared plus 1. Now if this is going to work, I'm going to need to have a 2x hanging out to get absorbed into my du, because du would just be 2x dx. Now, I don't see the 2 that I need, but that's just a constant. So I can introduce the 2 as long as I counterbalance with a 1/2 on the outside. And then what I'm going to do is just break up that x cubed. That's x times x squared. These two factors together are my x cubed. So I can see now, there's my dx 2x, that's my du. This is just going to be root u. I've got this extra piece. I've got this extra factor of x squared. So I want to look back at the original substitution and say, oh, well, if u is x squared plus 1, x squared would be u minus 1. So I can rewrite this whole thing in terms of u. So we will have 1/2 the integral from the u value at 1, sorry, the u value at 0 will be what I get if I plug in 0 for x. 0 squared plus 1 is 1. To the u value at root 3 is what I get if I plug in root 3. Root 3 squared is 3, plus 1 is 4. Now we said the 2x and the dx were going to become our du. X squared is going to become a u minus 1. And the square root of x squared plus 1 is the square root of u, which I'll just write as a fractional exponent, u to the 1/2. Now you'll notice I still have a multiplication problem here. The difference is I can do that multiplication. I can simplify it because that's a power of u, and that's just a power of u and a constant. The original multiplication problem, that was a power of x. That was a root or a fractional power of x squared plus 1. The bases were different, so we couldn't simplify the multiplication. Now, after the u sub, we can. So this is 1/2 the integral from 1 to 4. If I distribute this, I'm going to get u to the 3/2 minus u to the 1/2 du. So now I can just use the power rule. This is going to be 1/2. 1 more than 3/2 would be 5/2, so that's going to be u to the 5/2. Divide by 5/2, so that's multiply by 2/5. Minus 1 more than 1/2 would be 3/2. Dividing by 3/2 is multiplying by 2/3. And we're evaluating that between 4 and 1. So I'm going to have 1/2 of what I get at 4 minus what I get at 1. So that's going to be 2/5 times 4 to the 5/2 minus 2/3 times 4 to the 3/2. Now when I plug in 1 to any power is just 1. So that's going to be 2/5 minus 2/3. So I've got 1/2. Now I want to remember that the fractional exponent, the 2 on bottom, tells me to take the square root, and then the numerator tells me what power to take. So this is 2/5 times the square root of 4 would be 2. 2 to the 5th is 32. I'm just going to write that as 32 over 1. Minus 2/3. Again, the square root of 4 is 2. 2 cubed is 8. And then I'm going to just distribute the negative here. So minus 2/5 and plus 2/3. So we still have a little bit of simplifying to do, just some arithmetic at the end here. I think I'm just going to clear up the left-hand side of my board. So we've got 1/2. Let's see, that's going to be 64/5. Minus 2/5 is going to be 62/5. This is minus 16/3 plus 2/3 is going to be minus 14/3. And now let's just get a common denominator of 6 there. So that's going to be one, or not a common denominator of 6, I'm sorry, common denominator of 15. So this is 1/2. Let's see, if I multiply this by 3, I'm going to get 186/15 minus, if I multiply 14 by 5, I'm going to get 70/15. So that's 1/2 of 116/15, which is going to be 58/15 would be our final answer there.